Aury.
Fucking roll. Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to Aury. Excuse me. Eats bugs. I should just start calling it excuse me for all my throat clearing and stuff like that. There's one for you right there. I don't want to say the bad word, but feeling a little something in the body. But, excuse me, we're warding that off right away. And that's okay. That's okay, because our minds can overcome anything. And perhaps other healthy things to put in our body. Wow, I just completely forgot what I was thinking about. Yeah, good old thoughts. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've been thinking a lot about thoughts, funnily enough. And I'm not talking about like the thought of, that song. That song. I had to look it up because I was like, I've heard it. I'm a little out of touch with certain things sometimes, but here we are. So, thoughts. What are they? What are they? What are thoughts? Like what are they? Like I was thinking about thinking the other day, and I do that a lot. I'm one of those people who just I lose myself in my thoughts. And this is honestly, pardon me, a huge part of why I do this, just to get all of these things out of my head. Because it's freaking messy up there sometimes. And when I get if I get a bunch of shit piling on, I've done a lot of work on myself, but it gets in a little jambalaya, and the tater with taters. Oh, this has gotten off to a great start, hasn't it? But have you ever thought about what thoughts are? Like, where do they come from? You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, thoughts are created through patterns and stuff like that. But like what? And synapses and things and electrons firing in your brain and all of this crazy stuff. But, I've spoken about this before. And it's just like, where do they come from? Sometimes they just come in and you're like, what the hell was that? Like intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts. I didn't want to tell you some of the ones that I have. They're just like, they're like, what the fuck was that, man? I had a psychedelic journey down in Colombia, and a part of my journey was all of my thoughts, all of them, were coming at me in huge, big bubble letters, just. And it doesn't sound like it's that terrifying, but it is. It was. And then I started to have like real bad thoughts, and I thought, am I a horrible person? It was just crazy seeing the actual the actual thought in word form just like flying at me from everywhere. But thinking is just so crazy. You're talking to yourself, right? And everybody's like, oh, you're talking to yourself, you must be crazy. But you're not. It's just how our brains work, and our brains work through storytelling as well, right? Like this is why it's such a great form of communication, storytelling, because our brains just work that way, and we tell ourselves stories. And that's where thought patterns come in as well, right? We have this through our childhood and stuff like that, and how we learn how to love, and how we learn how to how do we learn how we regulate our emotions and how we're dealt with and all of this stuff. It creates patterns in our brains, and then that creates patterns as well, to then either protect ourselves. That's the whole ego thought process, and that's where that comes in. It's just like they're it's either we're so innately and evolutionarily inherently what's the word I'm looking for right now? This is bound to happen eventually. Just anyways, down to the things we have thought patterns that have been passed down through us evolutionary, through our ancestors, and through this, and not even through our parents, but like through evolution to back when we were like hunter gatherers, right? And one of the main thoughts that everybody has, you know, unless you're a superhuman, is the old I don't belong, or like I don't want to get kicked out of the tribe, so I have to do XYZ to try to, you know, stay in and stay alive, because back in the day, if you were exiled from the tribe, you were done for, right? So that part of us is in every human being, and some people are better at curtailing it and managing that part of our brain. It's the amygdala, I believe, better than others. Better than me, for sure. My thoughts are wild. I make up stories, and I've learned that I should be, you know, I've learned to like write them down and create things from them, from these elaborate stories I used to tell. And like, I used to fucking lie a lot when I was a kid, man. Like, I think I told somebody, I like made up this thing that I had a black belt in karate when I was like 6 years old. And I'm like, oh, they believe me for sure. No, no one believed you, bud. No. But thoughts are the basis of everything in reality. You know, I've spoken about this before as well. Is the Kybalion. It's the OG Bible. It is. Read it if you haven't. It is. I'm gonna read it again soon. But it breaks down to several different principles. And the main one, the first principle, is the all is mind, the universe is mental. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything comes from here. And if you look at everybody who's saying this is a simulation, it's a hologram, and it's this, that, and the other, it kind of is. Our reality is created through what we think and what we see, and like the input and output of that, and like all of our senses bringing it in and putting it in our mind. But like everything starts here. You know, you could go out and be in a sour mood and stuff like this, and then because of the sour mood you're in, that is now your reality. So then you start seeing other sour things. Or say you're happy and you're having a good mood, and like, you know, it's a cloudy day, but like somehow your brain is in such a good mood that you project the sunny day inside yourself outward, right? And I'm gonna be honest here, it's tough some days to keep that in mind, right? Especially, you know, if like you can have, you know, a million different things happen to you and be like, you know what, it's okay. This is just a part of the journey. This is part of the journey, and this is a part. And then you just keep saying this, but then that one thing is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and then you're just like, you're gone, right? But we are able to just, I believe that we're able to just create our own reality just through thoughts. If you think about it, every single thing that has happened here today, the house you're in, the road you drive on, the car you drive, the plane that you fly in, the clothes that you're wearing, the TV that you're watching, the phone that you have in your hand, you know, excuse me. That is all full of noises today. The phone that you have, those were all thoughts. Those all came from a thought, and then progressively people just did things to turn that thought into something in the 3D world, right? And if you break it down like that, it just everything makes sense. Like the all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything is a thought, right? And you can change your entire life by thinking the right thoughts. A good friend of mine, and my one of my exes, she's really good at this, and I learned a lot from her. And she told me one day, I forget how it got brought up, but I said something. It was like, why can't XYZ happen? And she goes, huh, you're thinking the wrong thoughts, man. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're saying why this, why not this, instead of being like, you know, saying like, why can I never seem to get ahead? instead of switching that to like, why do I always get ahead? Why do good things always happen to me? Why do I always have money in my bank account? It's those thoughts, right? And like, I always said that consciousness was, you know, the why. Like that is, I think that's what makes human beings, is that why, right? The almighty why, if you will. Um, and you can trace back all your thoughts to that why as well. And if you can manage to, I'm saying this for anybody like myself who like has issues with, you know, like inward intrusive negative thinking. I'm prone to. One of my synapses is just to go down that road, and it's just like, yo, I got it. I got it on lock sometimes, but then I don't. And then old Orgy Borgy goes down into the dark land, and we gotta bring him back up. But thoughts are so powerful. They're the thoughts are the most powerful thing on this planet, right? And I'm gonna take this back to the whole divide thing, but that's what's happening right now. That we're being shown such evil in the world to capture our thoughts. Because if you capture somebody's thoughts, you're done for, and they know that. They. I have to. This is just how I think. Thoughts are the most powerful thing in the world, and you know, that's why meditation is so powerful. That is why mindfulness is so powerful, right? Getting control of this. Getting control of this is getting control of this. And your gut, from what I understand, has receptors in there, and that's why you have a gut feeling about certain things. And it's almost like your second brain. It is your second thought, but this is more instinctual, right? I just heard this thing the other day that said that when you're feeling something, anxiety asks in questions and instincts answer. So there is no questioning if you're like having an instinctual thing like this is bad. Meanwhile, you could be like, what's another example of that? Anything, just any question. You're like, oh, I wonder if they're cheating on me or something like that. You know, the more direct things are instinctual. And if you have like a question, obviously questions are questions, but this is, you know, you understand what I mean? Like that sort of feeling, because your brain can make shit up and self-sabotage strictly to keep itself safe, right? Because it thinks it's protecting you from danger, but it's not. It's creating more problems. And it's just like, and there's confirmation bias as well. And that's what's happening right now. If you like Google something like that, confirmation bias is rampant these days, right? It is rampant. So to be able to step outside of yourself and think logically and critically is a skill and a necessity these days, and common sense and all that stuff. I feel like it's lacking, and being controlled as well, which is so unfortunate. Oh my God, I was just going to say something. I should have just interrupted myself, but now I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, meditation and mindfulness and oh right, the observer, right? There's that second thinker, or maybe not even. I don't know. Whenever I'm like stop thinking, I'm like, there's another part of me that's like, you know, when I stop thinking, I'm like hearing another thing being like, stop thinking. Do you know what I mean? It's just like this, that our brains are so crazy. Our brains are so crazy. And one of the things that I'm trying to learn how to do right now, one of the things I'm not trying to do, I'm learning how to do, is be that observer for my thoughts and not get so consumed by them, because it is so easy to be consumed by your thoughts. So easy. And controlled by them, and especially if they've already created that rut where it will just go down this pathway no matter what, and you can be on such a good thing and then something will happen and you're like, oh, it's directly back there, because it's so deep and it's so entrenched, and it takes so much work to, like, you know, cover that synapse with snow to create a new path on your ski or your snowboard. I love that analogy. But thoughts are the most powerful thing. in this universe. And you know, this one's going to be a long one. This stuff fascinates me. I'm brought back to the double slit experiment and the observer effect, and like Schrodinger's cat, and the two truths can be two truths can be true at the same time. The double slit experiment is essentially that, you know, particles sit stagnant until they are observed, right? They're supposed to move in a oh, damn it, I haven't looked at this in a while. Either they're supposed to move, they move through a slit, like a double slit like this, when they're observed like this, boom. But when they're not, they go through as a wave, right? Until they're observed again. And then they go through the slit straight through. But when they're not observed, they go and create a wave. It's just fascinating. And it's just, you know, it's almost like a rendering effect in a video game where, you know, things happen as you go. It's just so, oh, I'm gone off on so many different tangents today, because like this is thinking is just so, it's so crazy. Consciousness as a whole is so crazy, and we don't have a freaking clue what it is. You can speculate, you could do all this stuff, but nobody has a clue what this is. I don't. I don't have a clue. I think about it a lot. But yeah, our brains are such powerful things, and we have the capacity to create everything and anything and everything, and that's what we've done. And some people out there have completely hijacked our thoughts, and it's so unfortunate, because we could think at our highest point and get rid of the ego. No, we can't. We need the ego. We need the ego. Everybody, you need it, right? It's part of our psyche. It's part of ourselves. But we could evolve to have higher levels of thinking, instead of, you know, detrimental thinking and self-sabotage thinking, and that, you know, everything is bad thinking. And we can rise above that. It's up to us. It's up to us to question ourselves sometimes too, and question our own thought patterns and how we ended up the way that we are thinking, and where those thoughts came from, and the origins of the stories that we tell ourselves, to try to understand other people and really listen to other people as well. I think that's the key. That's the key. You know, figuring out our own stories and why we think the way that we think, so that we can better understand somebody else's story as well. Okay. I don't even. Is everybody good? Everybody good? Thinking. Yeah, it's powerful. The most powerful resource and ability that we have is our thoughts. Okay, everybody. Thank you. See you next time. Just joking. I'm back. There's zero chance I'm recording all that again. But I was thinking, and we're only gonna stay over here this time. Although I really want to look over there, because I usually do. We're gonna stay over here. I'm also probably I might go back to this one, like OG. I like it. I like this view. But anyways, the reason why I'm back on here is one thing that I really wanted to touch on, which I touched on the AI episode, is sometimes thoughts come, I think sometimes thoughts come in for us, through us. And this was really important for me to say in this, and thank you so much for, I know this one was super long, but thank you so much for coming along for the ride. But this is super important, and I got lost in my thoughts. But I believe that sometimes we have things come through us as thoughts, like downloads, for a purpose, for society, to move us forward. And that's maybe why, such the crazy inventions have happened throughout the years, and like marvels in medicine, and marvels in building, and art, and so much art, and lyrics, and paintings, and stuff like that. And I don't think it's to be taken for granted. Like, some of these crazy things, thoughts that I'm sure you've had as well, just come from out of nowhere. And if they fascinate you and inspire you, you should probably do something about those thoughts, because they're not coming from nowhere. No thoughts come from nowhere. They all serve a purpose, either to learn from or to create with. But next time you have a download like that, just pay attention to it. It's coming from somewhere, through you. So it's got to mean something, right? All right. Thank you.
That's my opinion!